ubheka ke indlela lamaqembu afike ngayo ke kuyona ke ifinal eBanyana umdlalo wayo wokuqala baguqise iAngola ngo-3-0. Orifile Maseko uShamase uyena ke uSemsemu abashaya ke amagoli, kanti ke iZambia abadla ke iNamibia ngo-2-0. uBarbara wavalela phakathi ke iBrace amagoli amabili. Emidlalweni ke yesibili iBanyana ke iyadla ke iMauritius ngo-4-0. Uyena futhi ke uSemu eshaya ke amagoli ke amabili. Ebese kwathi ke uMaseko futhi no Samsini oMichelle baseke beshaya ke amanye ke amagoli ke Banyana. iZambia yasake idlela ke amahlanga idla ke iLesotho 7-0. uBarbara kulo mdlalo ke washaya ke 5 goals. uNompepe angeke ke azavume efoul leya endaweni ke engozi itholwa ke iZambia. Uyabona ke uBarbara akulo mqhudelwano indlela nje awashaya ke ngakhona ke amagoli onamagoli ke angu-9 nama-free kick futhi ke akhona ke kulawo ke magoli. Le free kick isendaweni engozi njengoba ke ubona ke naba ke bakhona uBarbara, kukhona ke naye ke uMapepa 20 years. uMapepa udlala ke kuyona ke iLusaka Dynamos Magagula 28 years udlalela iUniversity of Johannesburg. Epalini ke leNingizimu Afrika kuzofanele alungise kahle lo leyadonga. Bakhona ke abantu ke bazoseka ke ikakhulukazi iBanyana iyona ke edlala ke ekhaya bayishiya ke noMapepa. Oyena koyishaya ke uMapepa kodwa oyayiphebeza uMagagula. Khona kiki yayo ke iZambia. Uyabona uMapepa onegoli ke elodwa kulo mqhudelwano naye ke ushaya ngesikhathi ke bedla ke iNamibia ngo-7-0 ke naye ke washaya ke igoli. Obeyishaye kahle ke le free kick nomoya futhi ke bumvumela, kodwa ke uMagagula ke epalini wase ke enza ke omuhle umsebenzi. Khona kick bayaphamisa ke ifuna amakhanda iyadefenda eNingizimu Afrika. Iyabuya futhi iZambia. Barbara abona uBarbara ofuna ke indawo yokukhahlela kodwa ke abamnika ispace nange ithola, kodwa ke yasimaka iNingizimu Afrika. Iyabuya futhi iZambia. Amapepa ngakwesokunxele banikeza manje ke Barbara. Barbara wasala phansi. Bayakuthanda lokho ke abalandeli ke baseNingizimu Afrika. uMapepa 20 years onekusasa ke elihle kakhulu ke yena ke uMapepa. Not iNingizimu Afrika, not Zambia.
Thanks, Tuli. Certainly this game living up to expectations on a difficult surface, but you just sense that Zambia are starting to get to grips with things. They're starting to create a little bit more up front, and their midfield three are starting to threaten South Africa, having to make some crucial tackles in the midfield. It's good work from Lubanji, who's come deep this time to try and collect the ball. Links well with Zulu. Misozi Zulu takes it to the byline. She's got Sauls up against her. Direct opponent is also just 17 years of age, Simone Sauls, playing at left back today for South Africa. And you just sense that while the first 10 minutes of the game were played inside, predominantly inside the Zambian half, that has changed a little bit, and Zambia enjoying a bit more of the territory, a bit more of the possession. Coach Bruce Mwape, you saw there, he's been at the helm for 4 years now, took over from Albert Kachinga. And he's had time to mold the side, and they've done really well. They got to the semi-finals at WAFCON, ending third overall. Losing, of course, to South Africa in the semi-finals there, but then beating Nigeria through an own goal in July to claim the bronze medals, which was a significant achievement for them. Here go Banyana. Looking for some skill. That's lovely work from Samsam, coming deep, holding it up, looking for runners, looking for somebody to pass to, eventually get some help from midfield. But in the end, it's a long-range effort from Chikumbu that doesn't threaten. Those of you interested in what's happening elsewhere in the footballing world, I can tell you is potentially a bit of an upset on the cards at the Royal Bafokeng Sports Palace, where at the moment Marumo Gallants are leading Kaizer Chiefs in the DStv Premiership by 1-0, although Chiefs have just missed an open goal themselves. So that's potentially a turn up for the books. Will we have a turn up for the books today? Mhlambe iningizimu Afrika izosimangasa namhlanje. We'll wait and see if that does happen or not. So far they've been good. If you'll forgive my pronunciation, my Zulu's not as good as it used to be. Good header out from Simone Sauls, commits herself to that header. That was crucial. And Zulu is beaten in the air. So this young lady, given a start, it's interesting today, of the Zambian starting lineup, all 11 of them have played either 3 matches or 4 matches in this tournament. So they've all had a big taste of the action. In the South African side, only 1 player has played in all, only 3 players have played in all 4 matches so far, as coach Lulu has played around with the squad. And she's given some of the French players a start. It's been interesting today that she's brought in 3 teenagers into the starting lineup today, and 2 of them leading the attack up front and not looking out of place. Samsam and Nchota. Most people in the stadium are older than both of them combined. Zambia now trying to play some carpet football. Also call this team the Shi Polo Polo. Of course, the men's team, Shi Polo Polo, a reference to the copper in the country, the copper bullets, as they're known as. Good defending again from Banyana. Belemu. And that ball running out of play. So, certainly been an interesting start, and this young Banyana side will learn much from the experience of playing in this tournament, from winning as well, because they're missing so many of their big names who played so well in AFCON. Names that literally roll off the tongue. And over the years, there have been so many good players. They're the Golden Boot winner the last 2 seasons. Mweni, of course, who scored 13 goals in the last 2 editions of this event. Now plays, of course, in the Hollywood Bet Super League for the University of the Western Cape. What's on here for Mapepa? Tries to find the pass, but it's been cut out well. And Banyana can take it upfield again with Nchota. Doing some good work. She's had an outstanding start to the game, and it looks a very good route to attack down that right-hand side, where you would expect that people like Mwemba and Tembo would keep the young South Africans at bay, but it hasn't been the case. And Nchota has had a lot of joy on that side already, including hitting the post in the opening seconds. Now, however, Mapepa has already scored in this tournament, linking well with a teammate, and South Africa concede another corner. That's Witboy from Vasco da Gama Ladies, one of the more experienced players. She's been around for a while, 25 years of age, slotting into midfield today. Crowd enjoying the action which started on the 31st of August when the first group matches were played in this tournament. Corner coming in, needs to be defended, is defended, and eventually Banyana get it clear. So with 3 groups of 4, it's a bit difficult to know how do you work out who the semi-finalists are. Well, the format of this tournament meant that the 3 group winners would go through: Zambia, South Africa, and Tanzania. And then the best of the second place finishers, who happen to be Namibia. And Namibia and South Africa were, of course, in the same group. And then they played again in the semi-finals the other day. That's just how things worked out. Ubanji. Tackles flying in. But Belemu spreads the play nicely. There's a potential opening. That's good defending. Very, very good, strong defending there from Magama. She needed to hold off Mapepa. Did very, very well there. Young lady from the University of the Western Cape, Figile Magama, stopping the Zambian threat. South Africa have been very effective in that regard today. But now they need to get rid of this quickly. And Ramoka has had a fairly quiet game defensively, teaming up with a captain. They both play for the same club. It's one, the University of Technology. The ladies team there, and combining well in central defense. This is the danger now. Zambians have got a lot of pace out wide. And Magama again looking after that right back position very nicely, very tidy defending as well. Just sends Zambia starting to get more and more of the ball now. They FIFA ranked at 80 and CAF ranked at 10, although that'll change after this tournament. These are the only two sides, in fact, ranked inside the top 100 in the FIFA rankings of the competitors in this tournament. So only fitting that they should meet in the final. Oh, bit of a mistake down defensively, and was there a trip? What's the referee going to decide? Nothing. Well, that was interesting. The ball still bobbing around in the area, and it's Magama who does some wonderful, wonderful work defensively again. Well, that was an incident, the ricochet of the ball favoring the Zambians, and for a moment there you thought there might be a one-on-one with the keeper. Lady who's gone down is Mapepa, and needing attention here. Banda just coming across to talk to the official. Just say, are you sure about that? Should we not have had potentially a penalty? Here it is again. It's a lovely break from Katongo. A bit of a miskick defensively, and well, it's a belated fall in the box. There might have been some contact initially, but the way she fell almost looking for the penalty. And the referee wasn't fooled. Banda, though, having a lot to say to the official, who has a surname longer than mine. Zambia won't want to make changes this early on. Of course, each team has a squad of 23 players. Only 11 can play. The other 12 sit on the bench. They're all named as substitutes, and any 5, maximum of 5, can come on during the game. Just going to have a look at this again. Now, was there a potential trip here? Well, she's late. But if there was contact, the contact was outside the area. So potentially a free kick could have happened there for the Zambians. She's back on her feet. The referee was well positioned and said nothing. Half an hour played then. Over here, it's a game. It's a bit of a slow burner. It looks like Tuli, but starting to click into action now, and some exciting moments, 0-0.
Kuyabonakala ngempela ke ukuthi ke kudlala ke amazwe azanayo ke njengoba ke ubona ke ukuthi ke eZambia ke iyafuna ngempela ke ungqongqoza ephalini ke lase eNingizimu Afrika, kanti ke neNingizimu Afrika iyafika ke ngalena ke kuyona ke iZambia. Yabona ke lamazwe aqala ke ukuhlangana ke kuyona imidlalo ke yeCOSAFA Cup ngo-2002 yayibanjelwe ke eZimbabwe. South Africa yanqoba ke ngo-3-1. Baphinde ke bahlangana futhi ke ngo-2008 e-Angola eLuanda kuma-group stages. South Africa yanqoba ke laphana ke ngo-7-3. Baphinda futhi 2011 bahlangana futhi kuma-group stages. eNingizimu Afrika yanqoba 4-1 laphana ke eHarare eZimbabwe. 2017 kwi-semi-final umdlalo ke waphela ngedraw ka-3-3. eSouth Africa yanqoba ke emapenalthini ngo-5-3. Ngo-2019 ngike ngasho ukuthi ke bahlangana kuyona ke ifinal banyana yanqoba ngo-1-0. egoli ke elashawa ke uRobin Muli odlala ke kuyona ke i-JVW o-Hollywood Bets Super League nayi-free kick. Yabona ke iZambia ingena ke ngakwesokunxele manje bafuna lapha kuyena ke uMagama 2021 kwe-3rd place. Umdlalo waphela ngedraw ka-1-1 Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium eZambia yanqoba ngo-4-3 umwempa uyena ke owaba ke i-player of the match ke kulowo mdlalo asibone ke le free kick ukuthi ke izokwenza njani ke iZambia iyathanda ukudlalela ke ngale ke ngaku-right back ye-South Africa la gijima khona ke uMagama osho ukuthi khona ke abakubonile ukuthi ke bangakwenza uma ke bedlala ke ngale ke ngawesokunxele ikakhulukazi ke uMaphepha asibone ke le free kick yeZambia abantu ke basolokhu ke bengene njalo ke enkundleni kuyajabulisa ke kubona ke abalandeli abaningi kangaka bezobuka ibhola ke elabesifazane free kick abayishaya kodwa ke uyayithatha akalula nje uMagagula ngokukhulu ke ukuzethemba ke ugoalkeeper ke weNingizimu Afrika ebishawa ke uBarbara osekore kuyona yonke imidlalo asebeyidlalile njengoba ke namhlanje bedlala ke umdlalo ke wesihlanu kule midlalo ke ye-COSAFA Shamase uyabheka uShamase Ejemili Fieldboy ukapteni weVasco da Gama ebhola lakhe kodwa ke balivimba ke laphana ke emuva livinjwa uMargaret Belemo 25 years right back iyayo ke iZambia throw in Souls oyaphosa lihlangana ke noHlayilane athi ke ufake eboxini ke uHlayilane defender ke iZambia alubanshi uyabathathela uMagama asephasa kahle ke uMagama uthola ke ngale ke ngakwesokudla sinazo intshota eZambia iyabuya ngakwesokunxele manje lo liyahlangothi ke likaMagama bayangena bangena ngenkani Maphepha awubheke shama step over bafuna uBarbara eboxini yalithola uBarbara kodwa ke bamhlanganyela bamaka kahle kakhulu emuva ke abayo ke ibanyana obheke leya through ball Mtshota ufuna uShamase oShamase nange lithathe libeka phansi base ke ebethola Sam Jemili Fieldboy ufuna uSouls liyonakala ke ibhola ke eleNingizimu Afrika uyabuya futhi ke uSouls 18 years kuphela onama caps under 17 ama caps under 20 national team eksasa kuqhakazile kuSimeone Souls Zambia ethumela ke manje ke kuyena uBarbara nangedlula uBarbara nangengena eboxini uBarbara unamandla uBarbara kodwa ke laselimshiya ibhola kuthiwa igoal kick athi sibone ukuthi bathi igoal kick noma ke ikhona uBarbara ukapteni ke wayo ke eZambia uBhanda awubheke leliya bhola wadlula nje engathi akamboni ke laphana ke uRamawoka hayi le kufanele kube igoal kick kufanele kube ke igoal kick ngoba udlale sekuphumele ngaphandle kwegoal line uBhanda ngempela ke iyona eZambia neNingizimu Afrika ke ukhumbule ukuthi ngemuva kwemidlalo ke ye-AFCON bayaya ku-World Cup eNingizimu Afrika njengopetha be-AFCON iZambia iyona ke eyaqeda ke ku-number 3 yathola ke i-bronze omabili ke lamazwe azobe khona ke lapha e-Australia nase-New Zealand emidlalweni ke ye-World Cup le midlalo ke bayithatha ke njengokulungiselela ukuthi ke baye kuyona ke imidlalo onanga uBhanda lamphunyuka uBhanda uyaxosha ke laphana ke uThato Litsoso okapteni ke weNingizimu Afrika Belemu abafuna Misozi Zulu uyabathathela ke manje eThailand umkhathi ke wayo ke iTUT unamagoli awu7 ku-Hollywood Bets Super League eThailand. Lungu ulapha esingise center wasake elibuya noShamase waphasa kahle uShamase ufuna Samsam uyamthola Samsam ufuna ukudlula uSam oyangodla ulinde support akatholi umuntu awusemo wafika uSouls wadlula uyabheka manje Simeon Souls uyaligoba eboxini Thailand ethuba leNingizimu Afrika leli akodwa ke iyadefenda eZambia ama-touches amahle amnandi eNingizimu Afrika uSemu ebese kuba ke uyena ke uHlalane bese kushoda nje ozoqedela leli yabhola ke ngoba ke no goalkeeper ubengasekho epalini obheke nje Simeon Souls waligoba wathola uHlalane waphambana nalo ugoalkeeper bethi ke banikeza ke yena lapha uSinazo Ntshota 30 years koketso uHlalane magama uyiZambia maphepha bayiqala ke ngakwesokunxele futhi lo liyahlangothi balithanda baseZambia Tempo ongena ngaphakathi ke uTempo uphakamisa amehlo libuya manje noMargaret Belemu Lungu ilona lodwa ke ushintsho ke olwenziwe ke iqembu elayo ke iZambia eqenjini ke edlale kwi-semi-final ngesikhathi ke bedla ke iTanzania ongene ke endaweni kaMary Wilombe ilona kuphela ke ushintsho ke olwenziwe ke iZambia akhumbule ke ukuthi ke kulonyaka sizoba nama-champions amasha ngoba eTanzania okuyibona ompetha bango-2021 baphumile bekhishwa ke iyona iZambia kwi-semi-final Shamase indlela yaShamase iyavalwa libuya ke neZambia the Copper Queens Zulu bafuna uBhanda base ke bemdlala kabi ke uBhanda anomphepe uyakhuza ifawuli ifree kick yeZambia kusele 5 minutes abramaki ukuthi siye ku-half time asikakaliboni ke igoli kodwa ke amathuba ke siyawabona emaqenjini omabili.
5 minutes to go, as you say there, Tuli. I'm not going to pick up on that Zulu right now. My Zulu's not good enough. Give me a few more weeks to work with you, and then we'll see how it goes. But I think in your period of commentary now, we saw the brilliance of Barbara Banda, just how she spun off 3 defenders and created an opportunity where none seemed to exist. But I'm also very, very impressed with Simone Souls, the number 23 there in your picture, who just is playing with so much confidence down the left-hand side, just took the ball into the area, beat a number of players, experienced players, whipped the ball into the box. And this young South African side is certainly giving their all today. But Mapepa now to blast in this free kick. Let's see what happens. This is in the area, cleared by Witbooi, not very far. The shot comes in and just wide from Barbara Banda, looking to make it 10 for the tournament. And she didn't miss by much. Starting to get more and more of an influence in this match as it goes on. As Coach Mwape looks at his watch, wonders how much time left until the break. See, Witbooi makes the clearance, it bounces loose. Banda calls for it and says it's mine. Nobody else dares touch it in an orange jersey. And she spins round and fires narrowly wide. So it's a game starting to come to life in a big way. The young players that Coach Dludlu has had the confidence in playing today have been the ones who have stood out. Magama, especially at right back, has been very good. Simone Souls has been excellent at left back. And then I've also been very impressed with Nshota and Samsam up front, who've led the attack and kept the Zambian back four busy throughout the match. Here goes Nshota, no foul, says the official from Lesotho. Referee Kolokotwane will have to make a decision shortly as to how much time to be added on. I don't think there'll be too much. Both sides would love a goal before the break. They've met 6 times before in this tournament. If you count a match that goes to penalties as a draw, then South Africa have won 4, and there have been 2 draws. Well, 2 penalty shootouts, each side has won 1. I told you about the one that South Africa won in 2017 when they came from 3-0 down with 13 minutes to play to level at 3-3 and then won 5-3 on penalties. And of course last year in the 3rd place playoff, the cross is wide, Zambia won on penalties. Which effectively counts as a draw. So they've met 6 times in this tournament. South Africa 4 and 2 draws. In total, they've met 17 times in their history. South Africa have won 13 of those. Zambia just 1. And there've been 3 draws, including a penalty shootout apiece. I'll tell you about the tournament stats for both these teams in the second half. In the meantime, on the ball here is Tlailane. Samsam looking for some help, doesn't get it, in fact is robbed by Zulu. And now Belemu. It's been a willing participant on the right-hand side of defense. Footboy goes to make the challenge, can't make the challenge. And the captain, Letsoso, stands strong, blocks the initial charge from Banda. Footboy underneath us, judges it well in the wind, which has continued to swirl throughout the match. That's a misplaced pass that could be problematic for the Zambians. Katongo giving the ball away rather sloppily. And they'll build again. And Magama, or rather Chikumbu, who hasn't done too much wrong in the game, the crowd calling for a replacement. They're not happy with that. They want a substitution. I don't think you'll get one now, with just seconds remaining, plus whatever stoppage time there is. Coaches like to keep their cards close to their chest and wait and see how the second half unfolds. Belemu delivers a good cross that is just, in the end, a little bit too strong in the wind. So it's going to be 1 minute of time added on. They're having a lot of fun at the Wolfson Stadium today. It's a stadium, although a small stadium, it's a stadium with a lot of atmosphere. I remember coming to the stadium for many times to watch the year that Golden Arrows got promoted to the top flight, way back, probably about 15 years plus. They played 1 or 2 games at the Wolfson Stadium, and there was a terrific atmosphere even then in what was the old NFD. Half-time is virtually upon us. Bigile Magama with maybe the last action of a first half, which has been interesting. South Africa have had their chances. They came closest in the opening seconds of the game when Nshota hit the post from a wonderful attack from the kickoff. Barbara Banda's had a few moments as well to show what she could do. But in the end, it's been a fairly evenly contested first half. And I think that Coach Dludlu will be very, very happy with her young chargers. Samsam has had good moments to show what she can do as well, and she's led the attack together with Nshota. But in the end, I think it's a match very, very much up for grabs. South Africans pulling together and doing their best here to try and keep the team spirit alive. It's half-time at the Wolfson Stadium in this COSAFA Women's Championship final match. Zambia 0, South Africa 0.
Gqeberha kwazakhele ifinali phakathi ke kweningizimu Afrika kanjalo ke nayo ke iZambia iCOSAFA Cup. Yabona ke ngesonto sokuqala ke iZambia ilona ke ilizwe ngempela ke ebelikhombisa ukuba strong kakhulu kuyona ke iningizimu Afrika ngoba ke ubona ke nama-stats nge-half time ukuthi ke iyona ke ekade ingaphezulu ngokwe-ball possession kodwa ke iningizimu Afrika ikwazile ukuthi idefende kahle kakhulu ibama-ke laphana ke obhanda kanjalo ke nabo ke omapepa akade ke beyinikeza kakhulu ke inkinga uLitsotso laphana ke emuva noRamawoka badlale kahle kakhulu nomagama. Yabona ke inguquko ke azikho ezenziwe ke iwona ke amaqembu basabuyile ke bona ke obhanda babuyile ke okatongo bakhona ke eqenjini ke leZambia olungu ke nabo ke bakhona kanjalo ke nabo ke olubanji laphana ke phambili kodwa ke akukho okuningi ke akwenzile ngesombe sokuqala ngoba bamgadile laphana ke Lesotho ke emuva neningizimu Afrika ayikakashintshi isabuye ke njengoba ke injalo ngoba ke naba ke oshamase basekhona ke kanjalo ke noHlayilane laphana ke phambili Alitsotso ukapteni ke ukhona alukho ke ushintsho ke olwenziwe ke iqembu ke layo ke iningizimu Afrika. Yabona ke ave ke kumnandi okubona ke ama-former players eqeqesha njengoba ke sibona ke ibhentshi leningizimu Afrika liqeqeshwa abaqeqeshi akade ke bedlala ke eqenjini ke lesizwe. Umqeqeshi Simphiwe Dludlu wayewukapteni weBanyana basizwa usizwa uDunga naye futhi wagijima isikhathi eside kuyona ke iBanyana ngisho ne-goalkeeper coach uThokozile Mndaweni naye futhi ke o-goalkeeper ke weqembu ke lesizwe iBanyana isikho ke kuseyiqanda ngapha ke neqanda ngale nange manje ke uBhanda ojika kamnandi uBhanda asibone manje ke iZambia amagama kodwa ke uyavimba uyabona ibhola ke liwa nje la phezu kwe-D-line nayi free kick endaweni eyingozi futhi izothathwa ke iyona ke iZambia nangesombe ke sokuqala abekhona ke ama-set pieces iZambia ebeyiwathola kodwa ke yangakwazi ke kwasebenzisa nomoya ke bobaphikisa njengoba ke simbona ke hlezi phansi ke laphana ke uLubanshi 21 years udlala ke eqenjini le-Red Arrows khona ke laphana ke eZambia. Abosizo ke lokuqala ke bangena ke bazombheka ke yena ke laphana ke uLubanshi bakhona ke abalandeli nabaseZambia ke ukuzoyeseka ke iqembu ke elayo ke laphana ke iZambia umdlalo lo oka-22 esiyonke ke imidlalo ke edlaliwe njengoba ke namhlanje kudlala ke ifinali 69 goals aseshayiwe umdlalo we-third place la kunqobe khona ke iyona ke iTanzania idla ke iNamibia ophele ke ngo-2-1 ngaphambi kokuthi ke kuqale ke wona ke lo mdlalo weZambia neningizimu Afrika. Magagula epalini ke elayo ke iSouth Africa bafuna futhi ke yena ke uBhanda amaphepha ngekhanda kodwa ke liyavinjwa ibhola lakhe amagama waseke elibeka phansi manje ke uNtshotha uyolanda emuva Fitboy amagama ke uthi ke asingadlaleli endaweni eyingozi ibhola dlala emoyeni ke manje kanti ke nomoya futhi osuvuna ke kakhulu ke manje ke ilizwe elaseZambia uyabona ke la uBhanda uyena ke i-top goal scorer 9 goals angonyaka odlule top goal scorer ke kuyona imidlalo yeCOSAFA Cup kwakusibulele olweni ena 5 goals nangonyaka olandela lapho 2020 uholweni futhi yabona manje ukuthi ke abakwazi ukuthi ke banganikeza ke iZambia ukuthi ikhwahlele nje epalini ozomele ke iqoqe ke leya defense ke yeNingizimu Afrika. Abe ngisakutshela ke ukuthi ke ngo-2020 uholweni uyena futhi owaye top goal scorer 8 goals. Ngaphambi kwalokho oRachel Nachula waseZambia wayeshaya ke 10 goals. 2018 Linda Motlalo waseNingizimu Afrika waba top goal scorer ngo-4 goals. Kanti ke uyabona ke umdlali ke owashaya ke amagoli amaningi kunabo bonke. Uma uhlehla nje ubheka ke selokhu ke yaqala ke lemidlalo ke yeCOSAFA ngo-2002 kwakuVeronica Phewa 17 goals. Akekho ke oseke wabreaka lelo record lisamile walibeka ngo-2002 lamagoli ke amaningi kuyona ke iCOSAFA Cup ngoba emva kwakhe khona uNobo Mahlo ngo-2008 washaya 12. Ngaleso sikhathi ke wayesawumgadli njengoba ke sebamconvecta ke waba ke i-center back Onoko Mahlo Hlayilane uyabheka ke uHlayilane nangedlula ke Hlayilane ngakwesokunxele ulinde support uyozivalela laphana ke ekhoneni awuHlayilane baze ke bafika bamhlanganyela base ke ebemthathela wafika uShamase onompempe uthi akubekwe phansi ibhola ayidlali iNingizimu Afrika kokhona ke akubonayo ke engakwenzanga ke kahle siphumelele eShamase 20 years yena ke uShamase uyena ke kuthiwa ke udlale kabi njengoba ke ubona ke le free kick ebeyibeka phansi ke emuva laphana ke uBelemu anange manje ke bedlulisa ke kamnandi bafuna ke uMaphepha anange manje bemthola eboxini uMaphepha hayi uMagama ayinkinga yomdlali uMagama awuvele nje wamgcina ukuthi ke liyoze liphumele ngaphandle lebhola angeke uzwe iligobe angeke uze ke uyishaye ke icross afikile eMagwama 20 years obheke nje wafika kuyena owamgcina waliyeka ibhola wadlala kahle futhi awangadala free kick wadlala nje ibhola eliclean awufikile Magama ohlezi phansi ke ugoalkeeper ke wase South Africa oMagagula njengoba ke nangu umqeqeshi la uSimphiwe Dludlu oyababiza ke abadlali bakhe akhuluma ke nabo ke laphana ke uShoti ukhuluma noLithemba Semsemo top goal scorer yakhe uyazi ke ukuthi ke uyena ke umdlali ke okumele ke amtholele ke igoli abaningi bebengamazi uLithemba Semsemo ngaphambi kokuthi iqalwe lemidlalo kodwa manje sebeyamazi analo ushintsho ushilo uGloria Brown nge-half time ukuthi ke iNingizimu Afrika idinga umdlali ofana noBusisiwe Ndimeni oyangena ke nangempela ke uNdimeni othatha ke indawo ke yakhe laphana ke uNtshotha elona ke ushintsho ke olokuqala ke olenziwa ke iyona ke iNingizimu Afrika Ndimeni ke naye ke udlala ke kuyona ke i-TUT onesipiliyoni ke ngempela ke iyena ke uNdimeni ngoba ke useke wadlala ke naphesha kwezilwandle ngiyamkhumbula ke laphana ke eko-Russia nakubanyana awudlalile ke iyena ke laphana ke uNdimeni njengoba ke simbona manje ke ebuyile futhi ke esquadini awunegoli ke elilodwa ke ashayile ke kuyona ke lemidlalo eyeCOSAFA Cup Semsemo wanikeza uNdimeni nayi first touch kaNdimeni uyalisa uSemo kodwa ke yafika yakhava leya defense eyayo ke iZambia elihlaba elicela ngempela ke uSemsemo uyabona manje ke itempo yomdlali isishintshile nange manje ke lapha Banda uBanda unikeza ke Lubanji kodwa-ke nanke manje-ke ngakwesokudla qhamuka Belemu uyaligoba ke leliya bhola Belemu liphumela-ke ngaphandle goal kick yeNingizimu Afrika. 10 minutes osudlaliwe esobheni-ke esokuqala noma-ke sesibili not iNingizimu Afrika not iZambia. I-technical team uBramaki ihlangene ngamakhadi abayakhuluma ukuthi-ke ikuphi okumele bakwenze ukuze iSouth Africa izothola igoli.
Absolutely, they're looking for a goal indeed, and the technical team have made the switch with Ndimeni coming on, thanks to Lee, and I think it was almost a super sub. You saw her first touch running in and just slightly underweighted the pass. Otherwise, there could have been joy for the South Africans there. But the 31-year-old from TUT will certainly add some spark, and she's already shown that. She'll add experience, she'll add spark. And so far, so good, and no changes yet for the Zambians either. Irene Lungu has been fairly quiet today. He only changed the starting lineup from that semi-final. This match continues to be cagey. Vitboy with a header. Nice turn from Zulu in midfield. Again, Vitboy well positioned. Now, is there something on here? Chikumbu. South Africans playing with a lot of confidence. It's clear that the Hollywood Bet Super League has been good for some of these youngsters, giving them a chance to play regularly, to test their skills out week in, week out, because they certainly have approached the game with a lot of confidence. Zambia, though, playing with the wind in the second half, and that could be a factor as well. So I promised you I'd tell you about the tournament records of these sides. Well, South Africa are in their 49th match in the tournament today. They've won 41 out of 48. That's an incredible record. 5 draws, just 2 losses. They've scored 180 goals and conceded just 33. And what's more remarkable, Zulu whipping it into the box, needs a good header, and that's well positioned, good positioning from Ramoka. And they do tidy it up well. What's more remarkable is that 15 wins in a row in this tournament between 2018 and 2020. They won each of those matches, 15 straight wins, and they won 17 in a row. In total, so another shot flies well over the bar. So they have a fantastic record in this tournament, just 2 losses. If you compare that with the Zambians, their record isn't bad either. 23 wins in 42 matches, second most behind South Africa. 8 draws, 11 losses. They've scored 109 goals, conceding 39. Runners-up in 2019, when they lost 1-0 to South Africa, although they had the leading goal scorer in that tournament, Rachel Nachula, who scored 10 goals that year. They've reached the semi-finals 7 times, have the Zambians, which is a pretty good record. Will they go on and win it today for the first time? They've never won it before. Only Tanzania and Zimbabwe, other than South Africa, have won this event. South Africa have won it 7 times, but they failed in years that end with a 1, 2011 and 2021. Mwemba heading it away there for the Zambians. Tlailani goes wide to the super sub. Ndimeni, oldest player on the field by some distance for the South Africans, and they stay on the attack. Shamase trying her best, and she's earned a corner at the end. That's very, very good work. Katongo conceding. So coming up to the hour mark, and this is the time when coaches like to make the changes. And Tlailani has shot her bolt, so she's off, and Manengela from UWC Ladies will be coming on. Nondumiso Manengela. She'll slot in there into midfield. So second change, and because coach Ludlu has made only 1 substitution in each of the first 2, all that remains for her is potentially up to a triple change in her final substitution. There's only one more time that South Africa can make substitutions. The ball's in the box. And it's a Zambian who reacts quickest to it. Lungu who clears. Magama, doing some good work there as well. And in the end, put out of play. Well, that ball needed to just bounce the right way, and it could potentially have been a tap-in. Now 2 balls on the park, so they'll have to stop the game. I say the referee today has been reluctant to produce cards, reluctant to stop the play. Have to agree totally with what Mark Haskins was saying at half-time about the fact that Zambia should have had a free kick for that incident, that foul, when Zambia wanted a penalty. But I think because of the theatrics of diving in the box, it sort of fooled the referee for a moment, and the referee thought that was a soft, I'm not giving the penalty, and forgot about the fact that there was a blatant foul early in that move. It should have been a free kick. Well, now Samsam taken down from behind. So Banyana will get the free kick. Here you see the ball bounces loose, could go anywhere, but reacting quickest to it is Lungu, who clears the danger. Well, this will be a big blow for the South Africans. Litemba Samsam, just 17 years of age, 4 goals in the tournament so far. Her goals have come, she scored twice against Mauritius in a 4-0 win, scored in the 89th minute in the opener against Angola, and scored in the semi-finals. So only Mozambique is the only opponents against whom she didn't score. She didn't play in that match, actually, so it would have been a bit difficult to score. And they're enjoying themselves, certainly. Proud of the fact that the home side are giving their all here. But I think Samsam is in trouble, and if she's going to leave the field limping off. If she can't continue, and they make one change, then that'll be the substitutions done. So Coach Dudlu just has to be a little bit careful. She's already made 2 single substitutions. Can, of course, make 5 in total, but they can only happen in 3 instances. So if she's going to freshen it up, she needs to do so now. Banyana down to 10 players at the moment. And the excellent Magama clears again for them. The ball will come straight back. Mapepa, good challenge on her. Goes past Magama this time. Mapepa does well, gets a cross in, and it's not quite a free header, but you would have certainly bet on Zulu hitting the target from there. She made a good run, but just a glancing header. So change for the Zambians, who are going to take off Mapepa. So her last contribution is to whip that cross in. And they're bringing on Nanganwe, who plays for Green Buffaloes. Natasha Nanganwe. She'll be slotting into midfield. Let me get her name right. Nanyangwe is the player coming on, wearing number 22. Which means there are now 5 Green Buffaloes on the field, as far as the Zambians are concerned. 5 of the 11 play for the same club. Ramoaka has had a good game defensively for Banyana, but you sense Zambia starting to apply the pressure now. They're starting to enjoy more possession, starting to knock on the door. Belemu whipping it in. Not a good ball in, though. I just wonder, as the clock ticks down further and further, what the options are. Of course, the Zambian coach, Mwape, has 4 changes he can still make in 2 separate intervals. Of course, if we do go to extra time, that changes again. Witboy puts her foot through the ball. Clearance from Mwemba. This game just waiting to spark again. The first half was entertaining. Here's Banda. Can she do something? Kept at bay by some solid defending from Ramoaka. That's a good run. Space allowed. Good challenge. Very good challenge. Referee has a look, says no foul. While it's hotting up, Zambia starting to knock on the door a little bit more. but they haven't found a way through as yet. It remains 0-0, 65 minutes gone. Who wants it? Tuli, who do you think wants it more?
Yabona ke iZambia Abramaki iyakhombisa ukuthi ke iyafuna ukuthi ke nayo inqobe ke imidlalo ke iye COSAFA ngoba ke esesike sasho kaningi ukuthi ke ayikazi iphakamise le ndebe. Uyabona ke indlela ke abadlala ngayo ukuthi ke bafuna ukuthi ke bayiphakamise. Bangqongqoza ke bengqongqozile ke laphana ke eboxini ke eleningizimu Afrika kodwa i-defense eyebanyana banyana idlala kahle kakhulu. Ngikhuluma ke ngaye ke Thato Litsotso okapteni ke kanjalo ke no Ramaoka uSolzi kwi-left back bese kuba ke uyena ke uMagama. Yabona ke umdlali okade ke ewuhlupho kakhulu ke kuyona ke iZambia bamkhiphile manje uMapepa indawo yakhe ithathwa ke uNatasha Nanyamangwe. Asibone ke nanke manje ke uBanda eyavalwa indlela eliyabuya ibhola manje ke neningizimu Afrika omanengela naye ke ungenile awubheke manje ke ibhola ke lihle lifuna undimeni ephasi ke kodwa ke ayifiki ke kundimeni eliyabuya manje ke libuya ke naye ke futhi ke Natasha Natasha ke nanke manje abafuna ke yena ke laphana ke phambili akhona Gemini Big Boy awukapteni ke wayo ke iVasco Dagama noMpepe uthi ke badlale ke sephumele ke ngaphandle ke lela bhola njengoba ke ebuya ke laphana ke uNubanji Souls odlula ngenkani Souls eyavalwa kodwa ke indlela ibhola libuya noKatongo 1-2 oKatongo naye ke manje ke laphana ke uLungu asibone ke eboxini awunaba abantu beganga laphana ke Ovid Boy ucontrol umdlalo manje ke iZambia alungu base ke bemdlalisa ke kabi ke uEvarin Katongo odlalisa ke kabi ke uyena ke uManengela ogijima ke kuyona ke iUniversity of Western Cape anondumiso uManengela free kick yeZambia Belemu uyena ke uzoyishaka le free kick yahlehla ke iyomaka ke laphana ke iningizimu Afrika bayayiphakamisa kodwa ke iphuma ke kude kakhulu ke nepali ke ilayo ke iningizimu Afrika uyabona ke iZambia eqede ke igroup ihlezi phezulu enqobe ke yonke imidlalo yayo yathola ke 9 points yashaya 11 goals kulo 11 goals awu9 awakhe uBanda igoli elingene ke ngabona kube nje yi-on goal eshawe ke uMwemba angale kwalokho ngabe ke iZambia ke ayingenelwanga agoli eningizimu Afrika nayo ke iqede ke ihlezi phezulu ke beyilapha ku group A iyona ke ibina 7 points ngoba ke badlale ke i-draw ngesikhathi ke bedlala ke neMozambique nayo ke ingenele ke igoli ke elilodwa ke iningizimu Afrika oyaphuma manje ke uLithemba Semsemo kungena manje ke ingane ke yaseThekwini elindelani edlalela ke iqembu ke elayo ke ilindelani uZethembiso ovilakazi uhlala ke ngonyawo lesinxele ayena ke uZethembiso odlala ke kwiSasol League eThekwini region ulona ke ushintsho ke lesibili ke olwenziwa ke umqeqeshi oHluhlu Souls oyabheka ke nange yozivalela ngale ke ngakwesokunxele ke uSouls throw in ke iyayo ke iningizimu Afrika noma ke bekushintsho lesithathu lolu olwenziwa ke iyona ke iningizimu Afrika kusho ukuthi ke uSemsemo othintekile ke ingakho ke engasakwazi ke ukuthi aqhubeke nomdlalo. Umqeqeshi we-national team uDesiree Ellis ukhona la enkundleni ngoba phela ke ebanyana lemidlalo eyidlalayo ithatha ke njenganokuthi balungiselela ukuya kuyona ke imidlalo ke ye-World Cup. Nale midlalo yemngani abebeyidlala neBrazil ngosayi imidlalo ke iyayo kokulungiselela ukuthi kuthi kufika lesa sikhathi se-World Cup iqembu ke libe ke seli-ready ukuthi ke liyobhekana ke namazwe omhlaba eNew Zealand nase-Australia. Athi sibone manje ke nangu uKatoke ngena ngenkani ebhokisini. Katoke wasedefenda kahle kakhulu ke laphana ke emuva. Oramawoka kothiwa ke udlale kabi ke uLubanji. Onompepe ke uthi ke alibekwe phansi ke ibhola ke kube ke eleNingizimu Afrika bekumadembe achikumbu. Lo ohlezi phansi ke abamdlalise kabi. Ogijima eqenjini ke lema-Indies unamagoli amathathu kule sizini ke yena ke uChikumbu. I-key player eqenjini ke layo ke ima-Indies. Uma ngabe ke lo mdlalo ke uphela nge-draw ka-not kanje noma ke ngabe ke eyiphi draw ozoya ke kuyona ke i-extra time uma ngabe singayitholi iwina nalapho kusho ukuthi ke sekuyolamula ke wona kama-penalty. Manengela ebhola likaManengela kodwa ke liyavinjwa lihlangana noMagama. Amagama ke naye ke lakhe ke liyavinjwa libuya ke noZulu. Nanke manje ke Misozi walibeka phezu kwe-D-line. Asibone manje ke iZambia naba manje ke ebhokisini lapho defend iNingizimu Afrika ayikakasuki ingozi waselithatha ugoalkeeper. Awubhanda lokhu ehluphe njalo ke idefense yase-South Africa ufuna igoli lakhe number 10. Uqale ke yena ke uNanyangwe bamako Litsotso wasebuya ke naye ke uBhanda kodwa ke waselithatha ke ugoalkeeper. Emuva manje ke ithatho Litsotso 26 years ukapteni weNingizimu Afrika. Laphana ke eBloemfontein udlalela i-TUT ngo-2018 oyena owaye ukapteni futhi weqembu eladlala ke kuyona ke i-COSAFA Cup njengoba ke namanje kuyena ke ukapteni oThato Litsotso. Ama-center back eNingizimu Afrika womabili adlala kwi-TUT bayazana badlala ndawonye iviki neviki. Litsotso noRamawoka. Manengela shintsha inkundla manje uManengela bafuna laphana ke uVilakazi uzethembiso kodwa ke ibhola labo liphumela ke ngaphandle. Chikumbu Mata Tempo 24 years oyaphosa kodwa ngeke akuhlulwa lapha kuMagama. Nali manje ibhola ke ihlangana noKatongo lase ke elihlangana manje noLungu wasesala phansi uLungu. Shamase sala phansi uShamase othi nompempe bamdlalise ngemuva ke bamdlalisa kabi ke uShamase ethola i-free kick iNingizimu Afrika. Siphumelele Shamase 20 years na-ke i-free kick izodlalwa ke uChikumbu. Ezodlalwa ke uChikumbu. Yabona ke inkundla igcwele abantu bakwaZakhele abantu baseGqeberha baphume ngobuningi babo ukuzobuka ke lo mdlalo ke wamanqamu. Chikumbu uyayiphamisa efuna undimeni awundimeni kodwa ke liyavinjwa ibhola lahlangana noManengela. uManengela kodwa ke akaphasi nali manje ke Shamase base ke beyiqala ke emuva. Litsotso elifuna undimeni eyamaka iZambia ngasemuva throw in ekuthiwa ke ayiphoswe ke iNingizimu Afrika. 15 minutes to go from Mike. Still we haven't seen a goal at Gqeberha.
We haven't indeed, Julian. It looks as if we might be going the distance here, especially given these sides' defensive records in the tournament. Zambia have not conceded a goal other than that own goal that we told you about in the semi-finals, and South Africa conceded only once. That was in a 1-1 draw against Mozambique when they'd already won their group and the result didn't really matter. So they were already pretty much guaranteed of going through, having won their 2 opening matches. So it's hardly surprising, I suppose, that it's 0-0. But with South Africa now having made their 3 changes, they can't make any more changes until we get to extra time, when the rule relaxes a bit. Footboy's been hard-working in that midfield, the captain of Vasco da Gama. They are oblivious at times to what's going on the field. Zambia pushing hard, but they've come up against partially conditions, partially the field, partially the wind, and partially a very committed South African team who've closed them down at every step. And it's been tough for the Copper Queens, who are still going in search of that elusive goal. They've been brilliant in the tournament so far. They've scored 13 goals, conceding just 1. But today they haven't scored any. Footboy pumping it forward, cleared by Tembo. It's just getting a bit scrappy now in the midfield. Both teams not wanting to make a mistake this late in the piece, and so just kicking the ball away. Zambia trying some elaborate play, but on this field it's difficult. However, that was good ball retention from the substitute, Manyangwe. Give you an update from the Premier League match. Gallants still leading Chiefs 1-0 with 15 minutes to go, but they're down to 10 men, are Marumo Gallants, for a foul, a straight red card, which looked more like a yellow card than a red card, but referee decided that it was a red card, so Gallants are playing with 10 men. With about 15 to go, they lead 1-0. Chiefs, if it stays like this, will be second bottom tonight. When last did that happen? Referee here is having to stop the play once more. And make a decision accordingly. That's very good experience play from Ndimeni, trying to earn a free kick. And succeeding. Well, that's the Tanzanian side, who are the bronze medalists, and they're waiting for this match to finish. Well, some of the officials are there so that they can get their bronze medals in the medal ceremony after this. They're the visitors, of course, the visiting confederation. They come from the East African Federation, and often invited to COSAFA tournaments as the guest nation. And of course, as defending champions, one would expect them to be here. They didn't do as well this time around. Banda still trying to spark something for a team, but getting that horribly wrong. So just a reminder that if it is level after 90 minutes, we go to extra time, 15 minutes each way. It'll be the first time ever that a final in this competition will have been decided by extra time. And then a potential penalty shootout. South Africa's results have been really good. 2002, when it was first staged in Zimbabwe, they beat the host nation 2-1. Veronica Pewa got 17 goals in that tournament. Then in 2006, they beat Namibia 3-1. Portia Modise, the leading scorer. These are big, big names, of course. That tournament held in Zambia. Then we moved to Angola 2008. South Africa beat the host nation again, Spotter Patton, by 3-1. Noko Matlo getting 12 in that tournament. Crowd urging the home side on here, which is not happening for them in midfield. The pattern was broken in 2011. Zimbabwe beat South Africa 1-0. But then in an event held in Zimbabwe, and then in 2017 they went back to Zimbabwe for the event, South Africa winning that 2-1. And the last 4 have been held in South Africa. where the host nation has beaten Cameroon 2-1, Zambia 1-0, Botswana 2-1, and then obviously losing last year to Zambia on penalties in the third place playoff. Tanzania beating Malawi. So that's the history of this event. Which way does it go this time round? Needs somebody to pull the trigger to try a shot on target, the offside flag up. So it's not going to work that time. Bilagazi, the most recent of the substitutes, caught offside. Banda in space, working now more on the left-hand side to try and carve an opening. Looks for something on the edge of the area. Two South Africans close her down. Witbooi plays it forward towards Ndimeni. Spins away very, very skillfully from her opponent. Needs a pass inside. There's nobody with her. So she does what she can. Tries to take it to the byline, or the sideline rather, but couldn't keep it in play. Invites an attack on now, but Witbooi does well defensively and robs the Zambians of possession. Oh, very nearly a defensive mistake from Sauls, who's been excellent today. Just have to keep your concentration now. It's late in the piece. In fact, it was in this minute of the semi-final when South Africa scored through Samsam against Namibia in the 82nd minute. So you have to stay switched on for the full 90. See just how the wind is gusting. Zambian flag on the left-hand side. COSAFA banner in the center. You can see the experience of Witbooi. Just her positional play is excellent in midfield and confining the Zambians to shots from range. Belemu that time, firing wide. Getting to crucial time now. No player wants to make a mistake this late in the piece. So just want to do the basics well, retain possession. If an opportunity presents itself, then try and take it. And Ndimeni working hard to try and win the ball, but she's lost it. The throw goes the other way. Taken quickly by Tembo. Zambia make a mess of that. Signs in the first half of the game was really sparking to life, but the second half has been a lot more cagey. Coach Dudlu can't make any more changes until extra time if it happens. Has to rely on the players that she has on the park now to do the business. Banda with a skillful turn on the edge of the area. Barbara Banda reminding me in a way of Serena Williams, 23 Grand Slams, looking for a 24th, trying time after time, not quite getting there. Banda on 9 goals, looking to get into double figures. She's had many opportunities in this match, just hasn't worked for her. Both great sports people in their own right, in their various sporting codes. Cleared again by Witbooi, does well. Tembo plays it forward. Is there something on now? Ndimeni finding space. Can't get past her opponent. And the referee produces a card for the first time in the match, and Musase is the player to go into the book. A little bit of paperwork for the Lesotho official. And Banda saying, what's that all about? You've been quiet for so long. There have been far worse fouls that you haven't taken any action on. And they all see the funny side of things as Agnes Musase goes into the book. Well, she did kick out. I think she was trying to play the ball. She didn't make contact, so fair enough, it's a foul. I'm not convinced about the yellow card. But it is a free kick for South Africa with time ticking by. First card of the match in the 85th minute. The home side just playing it short. I think they'll be quite happy to go into extra time. If they can, Zambians will want to try and finish it inside the 90. 5 minutes to go, Tuli. It's all up for grabs. Who's the hungrier now? You tell us.
Njengoba ke eliphakama ke iflag kuthiwa ke SA offside ke iyona ke iNingizimu Afrika abasho ke yena ke ubusisiwe uNdimeni angene ke nomkhulu ke umehluko ngoba ke idefense ke yaseZambia naye ke uyinikeza inkinga manje kodwa ke igoli asikakaliboni uyabona ke kancane kancane manje ke lo mdlalo ke engathi ke uyophela ke angayo ke idraw ka not akusho ukuthi ke kuzoyiwa ke kuyona ke i-extra time na-ke manje ke yenza iphutha iNingizimu Afrika kodwa ke wasemaka kahle kakhulu ke laphana ke muva Ramawoka Manengela iyavalwa indlela kaManengela libuya ke noZulu ebhola ke nanke manje ke libuyela kuyena badlala ke i-1-2 kodwa ke igadile ke ngale ke ngakwesokunxele ke iNingizimu Afrika bebevalela ke yena ke uKatongo 20 years naye ke usamncane ke uKatongo awunegoli ke elilodwa ke alishake ngesikhathi ke bedla ke iNamibia ebhola ke likashamase ke lide liphumela ke ngaphandle throw in ye-Zambia at the Copper Queens balibeka phansi banikeza uLungu Lungu nanke eliveza ethola uBhanda ebhoksini nanke jika ngenkani uBhanda nalithuba leZambia lapha defend iNingizimu Afrika adlala kahle kakhulu ke laphana ke uLitsoso ethuba leZambia abengaphakathi ke ebhoksini babuya ke noMisozi Zulu Zulu ke nanke elidlulisa unika Katongo iyangqongqoza iZambia phezu kwedilane Bhanda yakhahlela kodwa ebhola lakhe lithatha ke i-deflection wase ke elithatha ke ugoalkeeper uMagagula yabona ke bamkhipha inkani namhlanje uBhanda bamake bamehlula abayo ke iNingizimu Afrika ngoba ke yonke imidlalo yomine yasebeyidlalile oshaya ke amagoli akomunye ushaya amagoli amahlanu abedla ke iNamibia kwamenye ushaya ama-brace kodwa ke namhlanje cha akakatholi ke igoli nanguManengela oshiya noShamase uyaliphamisa uShamase obefuna ke irani yakhe la uNdimeni kodwa ke ugoalkeeper uMusonda ephalini ke eleZambia washeshe ke waphuma bayabuya Lubanji uyabheka Lubanji othola uMisozi labuyela kuLubanji uyalibiza ke laphana ke uKatongo umkadile Fitboy waphuma nalo ke laphana ke uFitboy lephakeme iflag othiwa use offside uBhanda awuhlezi phansi manje ke uBhanda nangu umqeqeshi awumwaphe ekulona ke ibhenchi ke elayo ke iZambia uyabona ukuthi ke izinto ke azenzeki ke ngendlela ke akade ke senzeka ngayo ke emidlalweni edlule kodwa ke lo mqeqeshi solokho efikile kule qembu wenza kahle kakhulu ngoba ke uthatha intambo ngo-2018 esithatha ke ku-Albert Ekachinga nangu ke ebathatha ke ebafaka ke kuyona ke finally ye-COSAFA Cup ngo-2019 labadliwa khona iNingizimu Afrika ngo-2020 wathatha iqembu walifaka ke kuma-Olympics okokuqala nqa eZambia ingakaze ke iqualifyele ama-Olympics kodwa wafika walibeka kuwona ke ama-Olympics ngo-2022 eMorocco iqembu lakhe leZambia lakhwayifela ukuyodlala ke i-World Cup nangu manje ke udlala ke i-final yesibili ye-COSAFA Cup uyabona ke ukuthi umsebenzi muhle kanjani ke wakhe uPhuse Mwape 62 years ozalelwe khona ke eZambia libuya ke noLungu adlulisa ke kamnandi banikeza ke iNyanagwe Nanyagwe uyaphamisa ke ibhola ebhoksini kodwa ke uyalithatha ugoalkeeper Dinewo Magagula 28 years goalkeeper we-University of Johannesburg isikhathi ke somdlalo manje ke siya ke ngasemaphethelweni. Simeone Souls 90 minutes ihlangene kuthiwa kuzobengezwa 3 minutes. Shamase awufuna ke uSouls eyamaka kodwa ke iZambia libuya ke nobelemu waliphakamisa awukhona emuva Mawoka Chikumpu Vilakazi ebhola ke lakhe uVilakazi alimtholi ke laphana ke undimeni alithola i-right back yeZambia ubelemu ananke manje laphana ke uMagame Vimba awu Fitboy ayalahla ibhola ke angaboni beka phansi badlale oJemili Fitboy elibuya ke no Natasha Namangwe ananke liveza ke ngale ke ngakwesokudla lizoba ingozi le bhola oyalithola ke laphana ke ubelemu obuya nalo emnyakazo yokugcina yeZambia nayi cross eboxini lapha athatha kahle kakhulu uMagagula wacambalala phezu kwalo uMagagula ngokukhulu nje ukuzethemba avele ke amabhola ke ezemoyeni uMagagula awamnikezi nje inkinga ayinangu ke la ekade ke eliphakamisa khona ke uMargaret Belemu walithatha ngokukhulu ke ukuzethemba uMagagula eZambia ilokhu ke icontrole njalo umdlalo kodwa idefense yeNingizimu Afrika lokhu ke idlale kahle ke njalo idlala ngokubambisana iyinikele esebenza ke kanzima ke defense yeNingizimu Afrika Zulu ethi show me your number Fitboy ke nange elahla futhi ke ibhola lahlangana ke nolungu olungu walibeka ke kuTempo oTempo wasephakamisa elifaka eboxini uyavimba letsotso elibuyisela khona iZambia Jemili Fitboy ke ekhanda lahlangana ke manje ke ibhola ke noZulu amisozi washiya ke ecenter asibone manje ke ibhola ke laphana ke emuva amuwemba uyaphamisa kodwa uyavimba uFitboy iyathatha ibuya nalo iZambia awubheke nje bekubeka laphana ke ecele ko-18 Banda lezo uBanda ufuna ukukhahlela uyakhahlela uBanda phezu kwepali bebonakala ukuthi ke ufuna ukukhahlela uBanda ebacwecwa edlula ngempela efuna nje ukulibona ipali ke lalingakhona laze ke lavela kodwa ke wakhipha ke phezu kwamapali nangu uBanda edlula kumanyani kuyena ke lapha uMagama wase ke elibeka ke phezu kwepali umdlalo ke wavele ke waphela ke 90 minutes kuthiwa ke iphelile South Africa neZambia ke badlala ke i-draw ka not lokho ke kuyasho ke ukuthi ke nakanjani kuzodlalwa ke i-extra time 15 minutes ozodlalwa extra time iyona ke esibhekile manje asithatha ke zonke intambo sizibuyisela ke e-studio
Wilson Stadium.
Back you are with us here at the Isaac Wilson Stadium, as you say, and South Africa have made another change that they're entitled to do, and the 25-year-old Aaron Hertz has come onto the park, replacing Witboy. So Aaron has played in 2 matches in this tournament so far. She currently coaches football at King David High School in Linksfield. She's given a chance to see what she can do, but Witboy is big shoes to fill. Ndimeni, 15 minutes each way, of course, and then the possibility of a penalty shootout. Here is Belemu, who's been tireless. And we're still no closer to knowing who is going to win this particular match. I can tell you that Marumo Gallants have drawn 1-1 with Kaizer Chiefs after a very dubious red card that they did receive. Chiefs equalizing late in the piece through Quinika. And it's ended 1-1 there. It's 0-0 here, though. But Zambia starting to ask a few questions. Can they manufacture a shot? It's a good effort, and for the first time in the match, a keeper has to make a telling save, and Magagula spreads herself brilliantly to keep out that shot from Banda. It was an outstanding effort. Banda's getting closer and closer. She can't find the elusive 10th goal in the tournament. She is going to take home the golden boot, there's no doubt about that. Samsam, the only player who really could have caught her, would have had to have scored 5, and she's not on the field anymore. That's a fantastic save. Still don't know who wants this more. Keeper's out for the count by the looks of things. Number 17 there, Hertz, the latest substitute. She plays, of course, for JWV in the Hollywood Bet Super League, Janine van Beek's team, and also represents Wits at university level. So changes allowed to be made now, late in the piece. First ever final in the COSAFA Women's Championships here in KwaZulu to go to extra time. It might still go to penalties, who knows? But Zambia asking questions now. Nothing happening there at the near post. Number 22 for them is their substitute, Nanyangwe. What a save it was from Dineo Magagula, 27-year-old from University of Johannesburg, who's kept her side in it. The defending from the South Africans throughout the day has been outstanding. Nice ball forward from Misozi Zulu, but again it's repelled. They're not offering too much on the counter-attack since Samsam and Nshota have gone off. Hasn't been too much of a threat up front from Banyana, especially with Ndimeni playing deeper in midfield and Vilagazi almost operating on her own up front and hasn't seen much of the ball. Here's Belemu. Nice ball. Zulu spreads the play. Much easier save this time for the keeper. So the defensive records of both these teams remain intact. Mozambique are the only side who've been able to score a goal against either of these two sides with a player from their own team. Of course, Zambia scoring that own goal in the semi-finals. Shamase playing it forward to Ndimeni. She's got to do it on her own here. She's got no support and does well to in a corner. That's all you can do in that situation. Musase, the only player on the yellow card, conceding the corner. So what sort of height can they offer here? Maybe bring the central defenders up, Letsoso, the captain, and Ramoaka, to maybe add some height in the box. But South Africa, as Gloria was saying earlier, so worried about the potential counter-attack from these pacey Zambians that they're keeping a lot of players back. So there aren't too many options in the box. They have just 3 players in there. And 7 Zambians, plus the goalkeeper. It goes to the near post and no chances taken. Corner conceded this time from Mwemba. She's got to be careful. It was a similar routine where it saw her head in an own goal in the semis. This time she had a header perfectly positioned. It's getting cloudy and windy and quite cool at the Wolfson Stadium. Second corner again goes to the near post. It's not cleared yet. But in the end, it'll run out for what I think is a goal kick, but the referee's more concerned about the Zambian player who's lying prone. And there'll be a further stoppage. So a tournament which started on the 31st of August with 12 teams competing. We're now down to the final 2, and we still don't know, after nearly 100 minutes of football, who is going to take home the trophy. Will it be South Africa for an 8th time? Will it be Zambia for a 1st time? Mwemba is back on her feet. I have to say, as we see Chikumbu in picture there, she plays for my Indies team. That save that Magagula made at the start of this period of extra time was the first real save in anger made by either goalkeeper in the match. Almost halfway through the first period of extra time. Sauls stayed on the park, done a very good job. The coaches now have to start thinking about potentially who could be their penalty takers, because that comes into it as well this late in the piece. If neither side finds the net in the remaining 23 minutes, they might do so now. Dimeni! Oh, she just couldn't control. She did so well to get away from 2 defenders. Just needed the ball to sit nicely for her, and she could have fashioned a shot. That's a foul off the ball there. It'll be a free kick to Banyana. It's so unlucky. Nanyangwe committing the foul on Magama. But Ndimeni was in there for a real great opportunity. We're not going to see that again. We see the foul here. Just having her legs clipped from underneath her. She's done a very good job defensively. The lights coming on here at the Wolfson Stadium. Sun starts to set. Has got significantly cloudier as the day has unfolded. Clearance made by Tembo. The crowd have been vocal throughout. They've enjoyed themselves. This tournament almost seems to have found a permanent home in Nelson Mandela Bay. So if you exclude the penalty shootout, Zambia have never beaten South Africa in this competition. And they've beaten them only once in all their head-to-head, 17 previous meetings. Good work from Hertz coming across, putting the ball out of play. She is, as far as my research shows, the first player from the Jewish religion to ever represent Banyana, which is an interesting fact for you. Judging the bouncing ball well and being helped out there excellently by Chikumbu. And in the end, Katongo just runs out of space on the field of play. Hasn't been a massive goal threat from Zambia today, other than that brilliant shot from Banda. Referee from Lesotho, just keeping an eye on potential time wasting here. Referee Kolokotwane. Now Belemu. Can they fashion something? This looks more promising from the Zambians. Katongo with the ball in, but again, the defense is well positioned. Banda goes to ground, looking for a penalty. It looked soft. Referee is not fooled. Is there something on the counter for the home side? Apparently not. Zambia come again, knocking on the door with their copper bullets. Tembo. Banda! 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 Oh, that was close. That was brilliant again, the way she worked it onto her left foot. Just can't find the target, but not through want of trying. Coach Mwape must be wondering how Banda has not got on the score sheet today. It was excellently set up there by Zulu. And look how well she does. She turns stalls, fires just wide. "11 minutes and 11 seconds of extra time gone. Still no goals in this game. There's no doubt who the busier goalkeeper is, though, in this extra time period. And that could be a bit of a worrying sign for the home side. Are they running out of legs now? Zambia getting closer and closer. But, well, and Ndimeni just stood off, almost waiting for the ball to come to her rather than going to meet it. And the chance goes a-begging. Hertz puts a foot in, but can't make contact. Nanyangwe. And that's a foul. Katongo brought to ground. And this could be a first booking for a South African player. And Shamase receives the first yellow card for her team. She can't have too many arguments here. Very late, knowing she's got to do everything in her power to try and stop that attack. So Everine Katongo scored a goal in this tournament, did Katongo. She scored in the 7-0 win over Lesotho at the Madiba Stadium in the second round of matches. Banda scored 5 on that day. And Mapepa, who's gone off already, scored the other one. 2-player wall. And Wimba to whip this one in as Zambia go looking for the goal that they haven't been able to find as yet, and they won't find it here either. Banda has had probably more shots at goal in this extra time period she's had in the rest of the match put together. It's almost 5:10 on a spring afternoon in Kwazakele, but we're no closer to knowing what's happening here. Zambia need to have their defensive noose switched on here, and they do well. Belemu bringing it out of defense, cut out well by Sauls. Inside the final minute of the first period of extra time. Well, this is the time where you have to stick or twist. You have to decide, do you go for it and launch the attacks, risking the possibility that there might be a counter-attack against you, or do you play it cagily and just keep things nice and tight and make sure that you have the penalty shootout to survive. In Zambians have probably got more experience in terms of that, in terms of coping under pressure. But for this young South African side, some of the youngsters are fearless. And Coach Dludlu just has to make that decision. What do you do? They've been vulnerable to the counter-attack potentially all match, so they don't want to commit too many players forward, and especially given the fact that they've had Samsam and Shota off the park, the two players who started up front for them, so they don't have too many options up front. Saul's getting back well and defending well, as she has done all match. Playing 1 minute of added time at the end of the first period of stoppage time. Banyana need players in the box, and Dimeni doing some excellent work off the ball. It was too much to do for her in the end, and she ran out of space on the field of play. It'll be a significant achievement for Coach Dludlu if she can see her side through to the trophy here. With Desiree Ellis, of course, sitting in the stands and watching, given a watching brief for this tournament. And well, it looks as if the first period of extra time is now a thing of the past, the referee blowing slightly early. So at the moment, with this match evenly poised at 0-0, 15 minutes into extra time, 15 minutes to go for either side to clinch it, and if not, we go, of course, straight to a penalty shootout. Judy, it's now or never.
Yabona ke ele Bramike kuzobe yabona ke finally akoqala nqa ukuthi ke i-final ye-COSAFA Cup idlale ke ize ke ifike ku extra time. Asazi ke noma ke ngempela ke sogcina ke sihlukaniswe ke iwona ke ama-penalty. Ngoba ngonyaka odlule eTanzania iyanqoba nje on regulation time go-1-0 edla ke iMalawi. Ngaphambi kwalokho iSouth Africa yayinqobe ke lapha ngo-2-1 edla ke iBotswana. Uhamba nje uzuyofika ke eqaleni ngo-2002 ayikho ifinali eyadlala ke yaze ke yafika ke ku-extra time noma ke eme-penalthini. Yaqala ke ukwenzeka ke lokhu ke namhlanje iqembu elincane leBanyana alinaso isipiliyoni esitheni, kodwa nje lidlala ke ngokuyimisela, bayayinikela kuwona konke abakwenzayo. Kanti ke iZambia inesipiliyoni, uyabona nje ukuthi sebe-frustrated manje, ikakhulukazi ke obhanda ngoba bakwenze konke, kodwa ke iBanyana ayivumi ukuthi ke idedele ke igoli. Athi sibone lo mnyakazo wayo ke iZambia bafuna nje ubhanda, oyena ke umdlali ke oyinkinga kakhulu ke iyona ke iZambia. Goalkeeper uMagagula oshaye enhle isave, futhi ke ngiyathemba leya ukuthi kuzoba ke isave of the match. Ibhola ke ekade ke likhahlelwa ke uyena ke uBhanda. Erini ungenile ke ethatha ke indawo ke kaJemili Vidboy. Ukapteni ke weVasco uphumele ke ngaphandle kwangena ke Erin Hayes. Agijima ke eqenjini ke leJBW. Ilona ke ushintsho ke olwenziwe ke uyena ke uSimphiwe Dludlu ne-technical team yakhe. Basekhona ke oChikumbu enkundleni nayi-free kick yeZambia. Defender kahle kakhulu ke laphana ke emuva yena futhi ke Chikumbu iyabuya iZambia. Nali ithuba boxini lapha. Uyalithatha kodwa uMagagula. Uyalithatha adineko uMagagula. Bekuzama ke yena ke laphana ke oChumba Lubanji. Umgadli ke wayo ke iZambia. eZambia ke iyabuya nje. Kwenza konke kodwa ke igoli cha alivumi. Nangu uBhanda wafika waphazamisa Erin, wabuya nalo ibhola Erin, wadlala kahle Erin, wabeka kundimeni ngesiphungu undimeni. Abefuna ke uShamase eliyamceza ke ibhola ke Shamase. Alungu banikeza Belemu, naba manje banikeza Lubanji. Okhona uSolsi 18 years of age lapha ngakwesokunxele, odlala kahle kakhulu ke uSolsi. Waliyeka nje ibhola ukuthi ke aphumele ke ngaphandle. ukuze ke bezobuya ke baphose bayiqale phansi abeningizimu Afrika iyabuya iZambia belemu uyagoba eboxini funa makhanda lele bola yaphakusi nethi ubhanda goal number 10 elakhe uBarbara Abhanda ubudala engqongqoza udala ekhombisa ukuthi uyalifuna igoli elihle igoli eleZambia idifende kwase kwaba ke 18 minutes esombeni ke esesibili se-extra time iningizimu Afrika kodwa nangu uBarbara uthi angeke nidifende i-90 minutes niphinde nidifende ne-30 minutes extra time awuvele wawona umcimbi webanyana banyana awubavele basukuma bahamba abalandeli yabona le goli libaphula inhliziyo abalandeli be-South Africa Barbara 10 goals nali le bhola laqale khona ubelemu washayehle icross ngekhanda uBarbara awalibeka phakathi eheda kuyena ke laphana ke uMagama wezwa ngendaba ke uDinewo uMakhabula lihle igoli likaBhanda liyakhombisa ukuthi lishawa umuntu onesipiliyoni indlela ajabule ngayo uyabona nje ukuthi oyazi ukuthi kade elifuna ke igoli osekore kuyona yonke imidlalo kusukela iqala i-tournament oshaya ke amagoli njengoba bedlala ifinali namhlanje ayikho igame angalishayanga kulona egoli ke uBhanda umdlalo ke usamile ke njengoba ke ethitekile laphana ke uLubanji uyabona ke uBhanda umdlalo wokuqala wokuvula bedla iNamibia washaya amagoli amabili badlala nayo ke iLesotho washaya 5 goals umdlalo wesibili umdlalo wesithathu ngesikhathi bedlala ke neSwatini washaya igoli elilodwa usele 6 minutes umdlalo uphele kwi-semi final bedlala neTanzania waphinda futhi washaya ke igoli lokuqala lomdlalo abona ke uDesiree Ellis ubhekile ngempela ke la enkundleni njengoba ke simbona manje ke kwifinali elibeka phakathi ke igoli ke lakhe eleshumi what a player Barbara Abhanda asibone manje ke nangedlula ke Lubanji step over olindi support Lubanji nange eyochitha isikhathi kancane lapha ekhoneni ozama ukuphasa lavele ke lahlangana ke ibhola ke noKatongo base bemthathela uKatongo kunespace phambi kwaManengela uyalibisa uNdimeni kodwa use-offside uNdimeni akekho offside wadlala kahle ke wathola ke uNdimeni wanikeza uShamase kodwa iphasi kaShamase ke ayifiki ke kuNdimeni uManengela sala phansi ebhola ke nase ke liphumela ke ngaphandle kuthiwa ke akube ke eNingizimu Afrika uyaphosa uMagama throw in uyavimba kodwa ke tempo uyabona ke ukuthi isipiliyoni siyakhombisa eseZambia kodwa ke kuthatheke i-90 minutes no-18 minutes ngaphezulu ukuthi baqobhoze i-defense ye-South Africa usale 8 minutes ukuthi ke umdlalo ke uphele iZambia uma ngabe ke igcina ke inqoba ezobe ke ithatha okokuqala nqa i-COSAFA Cup eSouth Africa esithathe eka-7 le ndebe ke yayo ke i-COSAFA Cup iZambia ayiyazi izobe ke iqopha umlando ngempela ke iZambia entweni ezinhle ezenzekile ke ebholeni labesifazane eZambia okunye lokho abazokubala baqualifyela ama-World Cup ama-Olympics bathatha i-COSAFA Cup manje umqeqeshi-ke la uMwape bayahamba abalandeli abasafuni nanokubona-ke le mzuzu esele sebevele baphonsa ithawula abalandeli be-South Africa athi sibone-ke Erin has Assault ngakwesokunxele indlela-ke iyavalwa indlela-ke iyavalwa iZambia iyalithatha kaTongo alithatha ibhola-ke kuyena kaBhanda uNompepe uthi abamdlalisanga kahle-ke uBhanda abamdlalisanga kahle-ke uBhanda ifawuli uManengela-ke uyena-ke odlale kabi udlalela iqembu le-University of Western Cape aNondumiso uManengela free kick yeZambia 6 minutes osele bese-ke iZambia-ke iba-ke ngompetha nabo abanikeza-ke Lubanji usala phansi Lubanji Erinezi uyaxosha ibhola uthola-ke uVilakazi awulalahleka ibhola laVilakazi lithola kaTongo awukaTongo oshiya-ke noTembo Tembo uyaphazamisa laphana-ke uHezi uyaxosha kodwa iyaluwina futhi iZambia kaTongo nangefuna ukungena ngenkani ebhokisini ukaTongo awumgadile uMagama awasabambile kaTongo awavele waphasela iSouth Africa wabonga-ke laphana-ke uHezi ama-second ball wonke nje atholwa-ke iZambia ifika kuqala ebholeni iZambia Agnes Musase nangu umvusi wenyamazane ephinda lokho nalithuba leZambia lapha phezu kwepali ayingozi ama-cross ekaMargaret Belemu igoli leZambia liqale kuyena namanje uyayibona le cross ukuthi-ke ibingozi kanjani kodwa-ke ngeshwa yaphuma-ke phezu kwepali-ke ibhola-ke lakhe futhi-ke uBhanda ohlezi phansi adinewo uMagagula awugolkipa-ke wayo-ke iNingizimu Afrika uma ngabe-ke iNingizimu Afrika igcina-ke idliwa kulo mdlalo lokho kuzobe kusho ukuthi okwesithathu-ke beyiluza-ke iyona-ke i-COSAFA Cup ngoba nango-2011 abayitholanga 2021 ngonyaka odlule ithathwa iTanzania abayitholanga namanje bakwifinali bayadliwa elanga liyashona ngempela eGqeberha lishonela-ke iyona iNingizimu Afrika isikhathi asikho kuMagagula kumele asukume umdlalo-ke uqhubeke elitsotso uyidlala-ke eduze-ke ukapteni-ke weBanyana unikeza uMagama iyena-ke uLitsotso bamthathela laphana-ke uHez okhona uVilakazi uMagama udlala kahle lapha ku-right back uMagama naseqenjini lakhe i-UWC futhi udlala kahle akungumangazi-ke ukumbona-ke egqoke imbala-ke ye-national team ngoba-ke i-right back esolid ngendlela eyisimanga-ke uMagama awunesibindi akasabi futhi-ke ufaka unyawo nange eliphosa-ke ibhola-ke uMagama onikeza-ke Litsotso badlalisa-ke ugoalkeeper uMagagula leliya bhola-ke lihlangana-ke noShamase hayi bamgadile baze-ke bathi nje aphumele-ke ngaphandle ebhola-ke lakhe-ke uShamase lizophoswa-ke iyona-ke iNingizimu Afrika Souls iyaluwina iZambia yabona isikhathi esiningi ibhola nje hlezi iphethwe iZambia ozofika-ke lapha ebholeni iqala-ke uMagama indlela nje ahlakaniphe ngakhona uyakwazi-ke nokukala ipace yebhola ukuthi ubani ozofika kuqala kusele 3 minutes ukuthi-ke umdlalo-ke uphele iyashintsha iZambia kungena uphiri oshintsho ke olenziwa ke uyena ke uMwape bayamkhipha manje ke uMisozi Zulu elinesi iphiri oshintsho ke olenziwa ke iyona ke iZambia awuphiri awunegoli ke elilodwa kuyona ke le midlalo ke ashaye ke ngesikhathi ke bedlala ke neSwatini beyidla ke ngo-2-0 igoli lokuqala ke eleZambia lashaywa uyena awuphiri Shamase Souls wadlula kamnandi awusoze kodwa ke ngishilo iZambia nje ifika kuqala ebholeni ifika kuqala ke ebholeni athi sibone ke uManengela olishiya ke naye ke laphana ke Ramawoka Magama Magama ke kodwa ke uyamosha throw in yeZambia yabona konke bayamaka manje abeZambia Panda 1-2 iZambia iyazibona iqukula indebe usela manenjani umdlalo kokuphele uyabona nje ukuthi ke iZambia ibhola nje iyaxosha ayisafuni lutho laphana ke emuva iyaklina manje ke iZambia iyaklina ke emuva ke idefense yeZambia othiwa aliphoswe iZambia amehlo amanje ke abheke ke uNompempe Lubanji onikeza ke Lungu Katongo wanikeza ke Lubanji Katongo kodwa ke iyavimba idefense iye iningizimu Afrika nangu umshayi wegoli uBhanda uyaligodla nje ibhola ukuthi uthi kuhamba ke isikhathi ke ebhodini 30 minutes extra time iphelile emibili ke imzuzu ke ezokwengezwa iSouth Africa isele nje no 2 minutes ukuthi ke ishintshe ke zonke izinto ithole ke igoli bese ke umdlalo uye kuma penalty ngale kwalokho labadlali ke angeke ke bayinqobe ke le COSAFA Cup ka 2022 izohamba neZambia the Copper Queens Sethembiso uVilakazi aphelile amaqhinga manje ke eqenjini ke leningizimu Afrika aphelile amaqhinga manje ubona ke nebhenchi lihlezi phansi fikile Magama 20 years usebenze umdlalo uqala waze ke kwaba sekugcineni alubanji kodwa ke ibhola ke eleZambia liphumela ke ngaphandle i-goal kick ezothathwa ke uMagagula oTembo ke uyena ke okhiphele ngaphandle kuthiwa bekune offside lapha ingakho ke libuya ke leliya bhola kuthiwa ke alibuye ke lizoqalwa phansi kuthiwa ke aliphoswa ke iningizimu Afrika kunesidididi esikhona nje eZambia ichitha nesikhathi litsoso uyaxosha ibhola ke lide lifuna undimeni laselihlangana ke noShamase uyalibiza uManengela bamnikeza uManengela uyalithola uManengela athi sibona kanayi support uManengela eZambia iyalithatha kalula libuya noKatongo elide manje ke ibhola ke lifuna ke Lubanji kodwa ke lithola ke Ramawoka webanyana banyana isikhathi siphelile somdlalo eyayithathi iCOSAFA Cup iZambia Nompempe wayishaya kanye wayishaya kabili wayishaya kathathu wathi uphelile umdlalo awumpetha abasha beCOSAFA Cup ka 2022 the Copper Kings of Zambia eningizimu Afrika izamile kodwa ke kwala kona 1-0 score asithathe ke zonke ke intambo sizibuyisele ke studio sithi ka ompetha iZambia ka 2022 COSAFA Cup.
Risk everything. Still Bondi continues on. And he's been brought down. Now it's... I want you to say there was a man.
Ranking new champions of COSAFA football as they beat South Africa 1-0. Got to find in the back of the net, and it was Nchota that had the opportunity then. Nice little 1-2 between her and Sam. Good opening, good strike, unlucky in the end. And the Zambians with a lovely build up here, able to find the explosive Brava Branda. Maybe a little selfish in the end, could have played it across then, didn't. And the moment went to begging for the Zambians, but she was a threat right through the day, was Banda. Quick, explosive, playing with their head down the entire time, that's the problem. Wasn't done, Banda. Involved, yeah. They push forward, the kid finding Banda, who got the best save of the match from Magakula, who hurt her ribs in the landing then after making that save. Baba Banda proving to be quite some player. And she was in search of a 10th goal of the tournament at that point. When it came, it was something a little different. A header this time from Banda. Gets up so well. Hang time, beautiful. She steers this goal, finds the 10th, but more importantly, finds the opening and closing goal of this final in extra time to see Zambia crowned champions for the first time. Stunning header, stunning cross. Beautiful play altogether as the Zambians, who created the most in goal attempts and shots at goal, are deserving champions and are crowned champions for the very first time, with South Africa coming close, but not close enough.
I am a pitch side with the player of the match, Figile Magama, back-to-back player of the match accolade. Here to give her the award is Frank Yawa, who is the area manager for Hollywood Base. Thank you so much, Frank. Figile, come closer to the mic, please. Let's talk about today's game. It was so tough, even for us as spectators to watch. I could imagine how it was as Banyana going all the way into extra time.
The match was really tough for us. Playing with Zambia, we just came from AFCON. Then we just came here to play for fun. We just had to believe. We're looking for the competition. We got one. That's all we can say for now.
What was it that Simpiwe told you as a team coming into today's game? Because you knew the opponent that you're coming against. You knew the experience you're coming against. What did she tell you, Guti, to believe in yourself?
She said, we just have to believe and play for fun. Let's play for each other. That's all she said. Let's just enjoy the game.
Let's talk about your performance today. The way you guys double teamed Upabra today, silencing her today.
We knew how she's going to play. We knew that. We just had to close it down. That's all we can do. That's all.
Thank you so much, Figile. All the best. Congratulations on the player of the match accolade. Thank you so much, Figile Magama. She walks away as the player of the match in this final. Now I'm joined by Coach Bruce Mwipe. Coach, you knew what you needed to do coming into this tournament. You had your eye on the prize, and finally, you've conquered. Let's talk about today's final.
Yeah, I'm happy about the results. Although the South African team played, they actually defended well, taking us up to extra time. I think I think they have done their homework because you could even see that they were here to make sure they defend and to be honest with you, I think they actually aimed for Barbara to put off Barbara, but unfortunately enough for them, it didn't work out at last.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about that where you just brought Banda just a little bit back, pushing Nanyangwa up front as well, and how you just controlled that midfield and just trying to control the tempo of the game.
Yeah, in fact, okay, the idea of bringing Natasha on top was to confuse the defenders because the three defenders were just after Barbara Banda. But in the end, they lost her and she had to punish them. But she also controlled the midfield together with Lubanji, also helped in the midfield. And after scoring, you saw how we had to consolidate the midfield.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Coach Bruce Mwape of Zambia conquering COSAFA. The trophy's back here, Coach. Not with your team, but with your fellow neighbors. How was this game for your team, Coach?
I think happy is an understatement. I'm overjoyed, lack of a better word. Because we pushed a team that has played WAFCON and has gone to extra time a couple of times. We needed to show who we are as well. If we would have scored that 30-second kickoff, it would have turned things around. And we didn't show.
Showcase your skills. I get the fun part, but there is something even bigger at stake here.
No, I think it's lost in translation when you say for fun. I don't think it's meant that we're just going to go out there and have fun. If you look at the performance that these ladies put up today, they worked their socks off. There was nothing lackadaisical of, like they weren't taking it seriously. These girls worked their socks off. So when they're saying fun, as a coach, I would say to my players that let's go out there and give everything. But at the same time, let's have fun doing it. Yeah. So it's not about let's just go and fool around. It's not fun in the sense of foolery. Yeah. It's literally go out there, work hard, but have fun at the same time and enjoy yourself.
All right, the prize giving ceremony is about to get underway. Let's take you through to our commentary that is
as a coach, I would say to my players that let's go out there and
to our commentary that is going to be voicing this absolutely momentous occasion, especially for Zambia, because I think you can see it is a little bit grim in terms of emotion, in terms of experience.
In terms of having
the Cecil League in place that is allowing the young 16-year-old, 17-year-old, as Mark alluded to the fact earlier that we had about 10 players that are under the age of 20 playing in this particular tournament. And that only spells a brighter future for a younger generation. What this also sends a message to the current Banyana Banyana players to say, look, be careful. There's a 16-year-old that can do a job.
Yeah.
And for me, that we need to celebrate. That COSAFA needs to be proud. The coaches need to be proud. Cape Town Roses, who's delivering these young players, and the coaches that are responsible in building these young ladies to be able to compete at this level with a polished Zambian side, I must add, we got to give them credit.
Banyana Banyana collecting their silver medals there. I think also that what needs to be commended is that this is the first time that they were playing as a unit in terms of this Banyana Banyana team, taking on a Zambian side who, of course, had 17 of their players playing in the COSAFA who were in the WAFCON.
I'll be worried if I was the coach of Zambia, because you're preparing this team for the World Cup. And if you are held in 90 minutes, 0-0 with a B side, you've got lots of work that you need to do. And again, the dependency on Barbara Banda was very evident in this particular tournament. And one needs to go back and try and develop further players who can assist Barbara Banda in getting those goals. Definitely goalkeeper of the tournament of Zambia. You're looking at Catherine Masonda, who done exceptionally well in this tournament, only conceding one goal. She got the golden gloves, and I think she deserves it. Catherine Masonda, really good height, and one of those players to look out for going forward. This golden boot, maybe player of the tournament, Barbara Banda.
I think obviously the golden gloves, that was awesome there. And the goal that she did concede was from her own teammates. So they only conceded an own goal, never conceded from any of the opponents. And yeah, who's going to deny Barbara Banda golden boot as well as player of the tournament? She is obviously a standout player. She coming into this tournament, she would have been the major talking point, and she did not fail. 10 goals scored in the tournament. One in the semi-final, one in the final. Ultimately, the difference between South Africa and Zambia on the day.
But also, Mark, a 17-goal record of Veronica Power set in 2002 is still intact. Nokomutlo's 12 goals in the tournament scored in 2008 still intact. She goes and she equals Rachel Nachula's record of 10 goals set in 2009. Absolutely fantastic effort. And I think for a player like her, she deserves this motivation. She wasn't part of the team in Morocco. And to get the player of the tournament, to get the golden boot, much expected.
Glo,
can
you imagine if she was?
Yeah.
That would have been something else. But that's third place going to Tanzania. They beat Namibia in the fourth playoff, beat them 2-1 to finish with a bronze medal, to go with their gold medal last time out. So Tanzania have acquitted themselves well, and they've really, shown that they are a top team on the continent. They've come to the COSAFA region, even though they're not part of the region. They are the guest nation participating in the tournament, and they now take away the bronze medal and to go with the gold medal that they got the last time out.
I think for me, Toli, even if you rewind this tournament, Coach Simpiu and Lulu, we got to take our hats off to her.
Yep.
We failed to get a medal in the previous edition.
Yeah.
We were fourth. And for her to lose in the final at her first attempt is wonderful. And it shows that the conveyor belt is working in women's football in South Africa.
It also shows the depth that the Banyana Banyana squad really has in terms of Tanzania. Of course, they beat Namibia 2-1 in that bronze medal match that took place earlier on. It was a Nasri own goal that then gave them the winner. But here we see Banyana Banyana now collecting that silver medal. They would have loved it to be gold around their necks, because even when you look at the group stages, they didn't suffer any loss. It was only that 1-1 draw to Mozambique when they conceded, went on to the semi-finals, beating Namibia, and here holding on, really, because it could have gone to the penalty shootout, but unfortunately, Zambia coming out on top.
they really grinded the result against Namibia, winning that one in a very, very closely contested match. And yes, I think the tournament taking its toll. If you look at it straight from Hollywood bets into this huge tournament, and getting into the final is really complementary to the conditioning of the players, to the coaches and the technical team of South Africa, to make sure that they rotated the players well and gave each and every player an opportunity to play. In the final day, players like Ndimeni, for me, I think didn't really show up. I expected a little bit more from her experience. But yes, you can see Sue there congratulating Coach Simpiwe, knowing that, you know what, you've done exceptionally well, irrespective of the result. Given more time, what could we be saying, Mark? Because you're talking about absolute zero preparation for this tournament. Straight from Hollywood Bet League into tournament without that much of a prep.
And, you know, it's not very often you see a team play a semi-final, winning it 1-0, and then going into the final making 4 changes. And that shows the bravery even of the coach. And that's why I have to take my hat off to her and her technical team. They prepared really well. They knew exactly what they were doing. At no point did you feel they were just like guessing and just not sure of themselves and, you know, the team they wanted to put out, the way they wanted to play. They did a really, really good job of this. Some inexperienced players there. I mean, Mchota, she nearly announced herself with a bang in the opening 10 seconds of the match, hitting the upright. They did exceptionally well, and this group can be very, very proud of themselves, having being led by Coach Siphiwe Dludlu and her technical team, Ntabileng Odiko there, as well as assistant coach. I think it's Simone Conley, who's a part of the, you know, the fitness team as well. So they did exceptionally well. Well done to them.
And of course, as Zambia take their gold medals, a medal that they have been fighting for years, it is now finally around their necks. Let's now take you through to our commentary team.
Sue Detholm there, the person who runs COSAFA with a very, very established team. She's the one handing out the medals. She's been around for many, many years, very, very experienced in her job and makes sure that every event runs smoothly. But the Zambians, for the first time, the She Polo Polo, have done wonders, although had to work really hard and had to wait for a rare moment of brilliance. A wonderful cross from Belemu and Banda rising above Magama to head in. It really was, or needed, a moment of brilliance in the final to take it away from a young South African side who've given their all, who've played magnificently and who've fought so hard for so long. Maybe they just took their eye off the ball briefly, both figuratively and literally, assuming that we were going to penalties. But the Zambians, they're on the up and up. They're the winners for the first time, and they have done wonderfully in this tournament, conceding just 1 goal. That was an own goal scored by their own players, and no team was able to score against them. And I don't remember their keeper having to make a save in anger in the entire match, which suggests just how superior they were in many departments, although I think they struggled with the conditions. She has been an absolute star, carrying the Zambian flag. Barbara Banda, 10 goals, scored in every single match, including 5 in a 7-0 win over Lesotho, which remains the biggest result of the tournament in the 32 matches we've had. There were 70 goals scored in those 32 matches. And Banda, controversially or non-controversially, depends on how you look at it, unable to play at WAFCON. She's been able to play in this tournament, and she, as the captain, will lift the trophy very, very proudly. Zambia have been a credit to this tournament, and they certainly deserve all the plaudits. They scored in total 12 goals in their 5 matches, conceded just 1. So Barbara Banda will lift that trophy aloft, and Zambia become the 4th winners of the COSAFA Championship, and now they can celebrate as one. They can get together, the team, the management, and everybody, and just enjoy this moment because it hasn't happened often for them. They've tried hard, runners-up once in the history of this tournament, although they've been to the semi-finals many, many times before. Today, they have gone one better than anything they've achieved in the past, and Barbara Banda has scored 10 of the goals that they managed. They are the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championship winners for 2022. Hope you've enjoyed it. On behalf of Tuli Mia and myself, Michael Abramson, from the commentary side of things, we congratulate Zambia. We commiserate with Banyana Banyana. Both were magnificent on the day. Hope you enjoyed it. See you again on the other side.